Hey, it's showing that I am live, but it's also loading here because I'm using Zoom. All right. We are live. If you guys are watching this replay, this is going to be a question and answer. So even if you're not here with me live, actually, my microphone's not even in. If you guys are not with me live and you're watching this recording, there we go. If you guys are watching this recording and you want to leave me a question, I can definitely approach that question either in the comment section. I can respond there to you, or I may actually create a new YouTube video for that content. Man, what a wonderful day. It's super awesome to be with you guys live tonight. So I believe I can see, sorry, it's been a minute since I've done any YouTube lives. It looks like we've got some people with us. As you jump into this live, let me know where you guys are coming from. And I want to know what we've got. So go ahead and type your questions as well. If you guys have any questions, I'm here for you. So Mike said, so glad that you're here. Can't wait for you to drop some knowledge on us. Well, hopefully I do. Hopefully I give you guys some great content that you guys can implement into your businesses. Mike, where are you coming from? If you could share, how much experience you have as well. And maybe I can help you with some more value as well. All right, let's dive into this. So, guys, coming from Alberta, Canada, that's awesome. I want to go up to Alberta actually. Okay, guys and gals, those that are joined, go ahead and type questions. If you have any questions about real estate investing, about real estate wholesaling, any of those things, go ahead and type them in the chat box, and we're going to, be engaged. We're going to answer some questions. I wanted to start this off though, sharing a few things with you guys. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Let's see, screen share. Here, let's see. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I want to share something with you guys. So this right here, I assume y'all can see this. This is a screenshot of my most recent month in my wholesaling business. So if you guys don't know what wholesaling is the art of finding discounted properties, right? You find discounted properties, you put the properties under contract, and then you sell that purchase contract to a different investor, and you get a fee for selling those deals. So you can see I made a $68,000 deal, a $7,000 deal, and then two $500 checks. That was just from the title company, leftover earnest money. And then June 16th, a $21,000 deal and change. That actually was private money I lent out on a deal. So that's actually not a wholesale fee. So it's actually not $220,000. It's about $200,000 we did. And then June 12th, 70,000, 15,000, $100. I think that was, I have no idea what that charge was from. I think it might've been a refund or something. And then looks like we did 24,750 and then a $15,100 deal. So we had a fantastic month. We spent way under, I think we spent $13,000 in change on marketing is all. So $13,000 to make $200,000. It's absolutely mind blowing. And that's exactly why I teach what I teach. I teach driving for dollars, which is how we find these discounted properties, how we're able to find a deal at such a discount that we can immediately turn around and sell it to another investor and make that kind of money. And so if you guys want to learn more, I have a free webinar. It's dfdmastery.com. You guys can check it out. So go and register for that webinar, and I go into depth. I'm not going to talk a lot about driving for dollars. I just wanted to share this with you guys. This is my biggest month so far in the wholesaling business. Some of you guys have like blown this out of the water, and that's great. Hopefully I'll catch up to you one day. I'm very proud of this. And the reason I show this, not to brag, not to be like, oh, look how cool I am, but to tell you guys and show you guys what's possible. I was a window cleaner. And if I can do this, you guys can do this. Truly, truly you can. And I'm here tonight, and I'm a coach and I'm a mentor because I believe that I can help, and I know that I can help, and I've seen that I've helped other people have similar success. And I want to be able to pass this on, right? Money's great and fun, but the fulfillment of helping others is so much more important and carries way more weight to me. And so that's why I'm here with you guys. Okay. So, cool little share. I wanted to share that before I got started. And good stuff. So we got some more people here live with us, guys. So you know, this is a question and answer session. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. If you guys have any, questions, please post them, and I'll get to them. Maybe not immediately. The other thing that I want to know is, where you're from, and how much experience you have. I'd like to engage with you guys and really help you in your businesses. Okay, so this is kind of like a free coaching session where you can ask me anything, and I want to know about you, where you're at. So I'm going to go through and read some of the comments, and then I'm going to dive into one of the questions I got in an email. So it looks like David's in Houston, but is looking to do deals and build teams in other cities. Awesome, David. Yes, I do love the out of doors, Mike. And yes, the Canadian Rockies are top of the list, brother. So I was just in Alaska last week, and just magnificent. Just mountains. The glaciers are just crazy. So I was in Southeast Alaska. But I also lived in Canada my junior year summer. I lived in Nova Scotia and worked like 80 hours a week, like a crazy person. And that was a great experience. But yeah, I totally plan on spending time in the Canadian Rockies for sure. Maybe you could be my guide, Mike. So it looks like it says, I'm in Ogden and just started cold calling. How should I submit offers, and how many a day? Man, it looks like we've got some more questions. Sway, hold that thought. I'm going to answer that question. Before I start diving into questions, keep asking questions because I'm going to go back through and start answering. But I really want to respond to this email first. So Jonathan sent me this email, and this is what kind of inspired this YouTube live and why I decided to do this YouTube live. It was mainly an idea of Jamelia, my right-hand gal that helps me with my coaching business, but she sent this and she said, hey, this is such a great email. I think that you should do a YouTube live on this. So he said, hey, Zach, first off, I would like to truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to my real estate goals, because I've been on this journey for about 2 years now, studying and gaining more knowledge each day about real estate investing. And I'm more than ready to actually get the help I need to owning my first property. I'm highly motivated, go-getter 21-year-old who would do anything and whatever it takes to own my first property. Excuse me. I need some water. I'm dying here. He said, mostly I need to find either a buy and hold property or a wholesale property. I've been pre-approved for a loan of up to $500,000. So you're obviously a go-getter at 21, that your debt to income's that. So you're obviously making some money, but continue to having troubles finding a property. If there's one thing you could do for me, it helps me get in the loop of owning a property. So from there, I could actually have my own experiences and continue on the path to actually running my own real estate business. Again, thank you so much, Zach. Man, awesome. Hold on a sec. Well, first, Jonathan, I want to tell you something. I think it's so fantastic that you've found this world of creative real estate investing, of real estate investing, and understand the power of it at the age of 21. When I was 21, I was working my tail off trying to grow my window cleaning business. And it wasn't until my late 20s that I found real estate investing, and it completely turned my world around so quickly. And so being in it so young, I'm just super excited for you. I've got another student that's about your age. His name's Craig, and he's absolutely crushing it. And, his dad's actually working with him now in his business, and it's super fun to see. And, he's making a lot of money for his age. So, well, for anyone's age, really. I mean, he's making a lot of money. It's pretty incredible stuff. So, first of all, I want to take my hat off to you, and I appreciate the work ethic. I appreciate the intensity that you're approaching life, and that you're focused on doing more and accomplishing more instead of just sitting back and waiting for life to give you something. So first, I want to say this. When most people get into real estate investing for the first time, they don't know where to start, right? And that's what it sounds like. You want to get your own first property, you want to buy your first rental, and then you also said you want to wholesale a property, meaning you want to find a discounted property and sell it quickly for a profit, right? Without ever closing on it. So you're able to get financing, you're able to get a loan. So I'm going to say this. Real estate investing is very simple, and we as people, we like to complicate it. So real estate investing is a marketing business, right? It's not buying properties to hold them as long-term rentals. It's not Airbnbs. It's not flipping houses. It's not wholesaling. It's not any of those things, but it is the ability to consistently find great deals. So if that means getting them at a very low price, or if that means getting them at a fair price, at an average price, but getting really good terms, meaning like seller finance or low interest or whatever it is, to be able to make good money, right? Because you cannot do very well as a wholesaler. You cannot do very well as a flipper, a landlord, or a buy and hold investor as a landlord. You can't do any of those strategies unless you first start with deeply discounted properties, right? But if you can be really good at finding discounted properties like I am, and not be the smartest guy in the room, kind of like me, right? You can be very successful in this business. So first and foremost, get good at finding discounted properties. Learn, how do I find, like when you're searching YouTube, how do I find discounted properties? Learn all of the best strategies of finding discounted properties. Pick one that you think is the very best and run with it. So I totally believe driving for dollars is the very best strategy for finding the best discounted properties, regardless if you want some seller finance to keep them as rentals, whether you're trying to find flips, it doesn't matter. Driving for dollars is the best system. And I've already talked about where you can go learn more about driving for dollars, right? So first and foremost is get a good marketing system in place. Since you're just starting, you may not be able to pick up and hold everything that you're finding. So you probably want to build a cash buyers list. And so if you have a deal that comes across your table that may not be a good rental for you, you can still sell it to a flipper or to someone that can take advantage of the opportunity. So I would, if I was you, and if I could talk to my 21-year-old self, I would say, Zach, get out of window cleaning, and you need to start wholesaling real estate and start driving for dollars. So that's what I would tell you, my friend. And I'm sure you'll be successful. If you want some books on, rentals and building a rental portfolio, which I did for years and ended up selling them all because it was such a headache and I didn't want to do it anymore. There's some great books. So you can look up ABCs of Real Estate Investing by Ken McElroy and the Rich Dad Company. It's a great one. My favorite, though, is what's it called? I actually have it right here. This one was an awesome book for me. Of course, I can't remember the name. Oh, Multifamily Millions is what it's called. I can't remember the name of the author, though. Well, you can Google it. Multifamily Millions. It's a great book, some great content in there. So there's some good books on rentals if you're looking for that. So, all right, guys and gals, make sure you guys leave questions. If you have any, type them in the question box, and I will jump right into those. So here we go. Going back to Sway's question. I'm in Ogden, which is actually in my backyard. That's here in Utah. And just started cold calling. How should I be submitting offers, and how many a day? Sway, we never submit offers until they're ready to sell, till they're giving us a number. So our number one goal as real estate investors is finding people that want to sell their house, right? We're not trying to convince anybody. And then even more on that subject is we're not trying to convince people to sell at a discount. We're trying to find people that that want to get rid of their property quickly. They don't want to deal with the hassles, right? And I talk about this in my webinar, very, very in depth, that, you don't need to be an amazing negotiator, right? You don't need to be dishonest. You do not have to exaggerate or lie about the cost or value of the house or the cost of the rehabs, right? But you have to find someone that wants speed and convenience for the sale of their house. And when they get speed and convenience for the sale, they obviously take a lesser amount. It's just like a pawn shop, right? So if you have a pawn shop and you take a gold ring, they're not going to pay you what it's worth, right? They're going to pay you what they can then profit off of. And so keep that in mind. The goal is to find motivated sellers. And so that's what I really teach in that webinar. So if you're struggling to find motivated sellers, definitely check out that webinar. Aaron, awesome. Hey, Zach, thanks for doing this. Just learned about wholesaling and recently got my first contract by leaving a letter on a vacant house. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Got your first contract, Aaron. Proud of you. So Aaron asked, do you send postcards without skip tracing and learning more about the home, like equity, etc.? I do not. So with Driving for Dollars, we drive through and find any properties with neglect. And if you guys are part of this YouTube channel, which you probably are if you're here, right? Don't forget to subscribe. And so you can see all future videos, but I have a video called Driving for Dollars Criteria. And I actually go out for a drive with my driver, and, you can get access to the Drive for Dollars criteria there. And, we tag any properties that have physical signs of neglect, and we do our marketing to those properties. It doesn't matter how long they've been owned. It doesn't matter how much equity they have, because a motivated seller, we can usually work a deal, whether we have to do, a cash offer, or we do, non-traditional financing where they're the banks, or we take over an existing loan known as subject to. We've done lots of creative things if there's not a ton of equity. I've even bought in wholesale deals that were purchased by investors no more than 12 months ago, but they got upside down in them. They were, they needed cash now, so they were taking a loss. So, it exists. So I try not to overthink it. I just do my marketing. So I go, that's the cool thing about my course, right? And what I teach with Driving for Dollars is you don't have to figure all this out yourselves, right? You don't have to go through that frustrating process of those small shifts. All right. So I want to give you guys a ton of value, and I want you guys to go out and take massive action, and yes, make mistakes. But just a little word of caution, right? Is success a lot of the times is in the very small details. And it took me years before I really started having that crazy success, because I was making small little mistakes that was really affecting the overall outcome of my marketing. And so, yes, you guys can go out and do it yourself, but implementing something that's proven to work, that's where you can really explode your results much faster. Let's see. I just watched your webinar via Deal Machine a couple weeks ago, and 100% will be getting that program soon. Do you cold call too, or just Drive for Dollars with one employee? Yeah, so I have one guy that does all of my driving. I do cold call as well, and do postcards and text. So I have one full-time cold caller, and my acquisition manager cold calls a little bit as well. And so looking at my numbers from last quarter, do you guys want to know? You guys probably want to know this. How much money did I make from calling, from texting, and postcards over the second quarter of the year? I can tell you, right? I'm going to give you guys an inside look at some stuff here. Just give me a second. I didn't plan on sharing this. So I'm going to go to my KPI sheet, which shows me all of my marketing and how much money I'm making from it and all of that stuff. Okay. So here we go. Oh, that's the wrong sheet. Hold on. Sorry about that. Those that have joined me just recently, this is a Q&A, so feel free to write your questions, and I will be happy to get to you with those answers. All right, here we go. So the second quarter of 2020, scroll down. So 90% of our deals are coming from driving from dollars, okay? And I'm going to give you guys some, I've never really shared this before, but I'm going to share it anyway. So we made $63,000 from texting and change. We made $100,000 even from cold calling. We made $98,000 from postcards. So it's pretty flat across the board. All strategies usually work. Those are my three favorites. And so we're doing a little bit of all of those. Let's see. Let me open this up. So hopefully that answered your question, Aaron. Mike said, you got it. He's going to be my guide in Canada. I love it. We just have to cancel our camping trip to Idaho. Pretty sad about that. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. What part of Idaho? I absolutely love Idaho. I spent a lot of time up there. I love I love the whole state, really. I mean, they have the best wilderness within a decent driving distance from me. I spent a lot of time up in Hell's Canyon this spring, and the Salmon River drainage and those giant wilderness areas. Oh, the mountains are just straight up and down. The gorges are actually deeper than the Grand Canyon over there. A lot of people don't know that. It's like the Grand Canyon, but it's green. It's amazing. Yeah, I love Idaho. So, okay, David said, for smaller markets, do you need the same critical mass numbers before you start seeing regular results? Definitely not, man. Definitely not. So when I first started driving in my market, I drove a little tiny like outskirt. So it's called Tremonton, and it only here. I don't want to blow smoke. Population of Tremonton, Utah. It's 8,882 people. Okay, tiny market. Took us roughly a week to drive through that market, because we obviously didn't add every house, right? We added probably 500, 600, 700 properties. And when we first started, right, we weren't adding 2,000 properties every single week like we are now, but we drove through it. Took us about a week, and we pulled 3 deals out of it. Our average deal size is $20,000. So we made, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know that we pulled 3 deals. I'm sure it was 60,000 plus. So, yes, you can definitely do deals and have a lot of success. The cool thing about, smaller markets or little outskirts, let's say you live in, I just had a call with a student a few minutes ago, before I got onto this. His name's Sam, and his video will actually be uploaded into YouTube in the next probably in a month. I've got a lot of content that's going to be coming out, but he's in LA, and he's working in the outskirts of LA, because those little suburbs outside of major metropolitan areas have way less competition, and they get way less marketing. And so if you go driving for dollars in those areas, you're going to do way better. So yeah, smaller markets actually, you can have explosive results really fast, but they don't have as many deals frequently, right? Because the population is smaller. So, there's some give and takes depending on the size of your market. But that's actually a really great question, David. Very smart. Okay, just got access to your webinar this morning. Wish I could have watched it already. My question would be a lot more specific and pointed. That's okay, Mike. There's gonna, check out that webinar. I mean, it's gonna go into depth on what I teach and how I can help you and really get your mindset right. And if you're not fully convinced that that's the path you need to take and jump on board as a student, I'm here, right? You can reach out to me. I give my email in the webinar. You can follow me on social media. I'm constantly putting out a ton of value. So my goal is to put money in your business, and you'll understand why that became my mission. And it's actually really blessed my life in a lot of ways, but it's also very fulfilling. So yeah, no worries. I'm not going anywhere, Mike. Says, I have rentals, want to transition to make more income, more active income in real estate. Can you give a quick bullet point action plan for getting started? What do I need to get started? Yeah. So you shared something really cool that a lot of people don't think about. So they think, oh, I want to get into flipping houses, or I want to get into rentals. And that's great, right? But if you want to really do well, you need to have cash flow. So most people, they have to have like consistent money because they got to feed their kids, and they got to pay their mortgage, and they got to pay for the cars and the gas and the broken air conditioning, which happened to me this week, and we're just dying inside my house. And they struggle to really have enough money to be able to buy rentals. And then they spend some money on marketing. They find a rental, but then they don't have money for it. It's kind of this like, how do I get into it? How do I really take off? So one of the reasons I love wholesaling, right, is because you can set up a system that's consistently finding discounted properties, and you're making a profit, right? So you have what's called cash flow in a business, right? You have money going out in marketing, and then you have money coming in as assignment fees for those deals. And then you can go, oh, wow, look at this deal. I got a seller finance, $2,000 down. I take over the dude's mortgage. I'm going to make $700 a month extra on the rent income. And there's $30,000-$40,000 in income. This thing probably will inflate over the next 3 years, and I can turn around and sell it for $70,000 profit in 3 years. That's exactly one of the deals that I cherry picked. I did that deal, right? So wholesaling's so cool because you can go, hey, I'm going to have consistent deals in front of me, and I get to pick the very best ones for my own investment portfolio, and I get cash flow, right? And I can continue to pay for marketing, and I can be considered an expert in the market, and other people are bringing me deals, right? That's what's happening to me. That's where my extra 10% of my deals come from. And so, your success will breed more success. So, I would say get started with wholesaling, right? Get a wholesaling business going so you can do other things. And that's why I got into wholesaling, right? So I could build more rentals. And the funny thing is I love wholesaling so much, I don't really have rentals anymore. So kind of funny how that worked out, right? So I'm focusing on single family homes. My partner and I are a small business, so we can do the work ourselves. Can you give me any practical action list to get started? Yeah, so there's just so much in the webinar. A lot of that will get answered. Yeah, the Driving for Dollars list is pretty much all of our marketing. We do market to the probate list, and we do market to the eviction list, and we market to a couple other lists. Oh, the code violations list. But man, it's tough, man. I haven't seen a deal off of those. I think I've gotten one deal off a code violations list this year. And that's it. I haven't gotten any. No, that's not true. No, I did one off the code violation, one probate. And that's it. With other lists outside of Driving for Dollars. So most of my Driving for Dollars, or pretty much all of my deals are Driving for Dollars. And the interesting thing too is like probate list is so small. I think it's only a couple hundred properties, every month or every other month, where I'm adding 2,000 properties every single week to my Driving for Dollars list. And so there's just so much more marketing. There's so much opportunity with Driving for Dollars. And I actually talk about that in my webinar, how powerful the Driving for Dollars list is for just, for that reason, that you choose the size of the list, right? Says, when building virtual teams, how much, if any, of your Driving for Dollars mastery can be shared with the team? If it's part of your actual team, I share it with your entire team. Share it with your driver, share it with your acquisition manager. That's fine. But if if you have partners where you're just partnering on deals, that kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it if you're not sharing it, right? I'm probably not going to lose too much sleep over it. But yeah, I mean, I've worked very hard to put together this course, and if you're passing it around for free, that's not very helpful. I've priced it at a point that makes it so anyone and everyone can afford it, for sure. So Aaron asked another, how many texts and calls do you do in a month? How many people work with you do the calls and texts? So Coeur d'Alene, and then you also Mike shared that he's in Coeur d'Alene. I love Coeur d'Alene. Beautiful place. Anyways, going back to Aaron's question about how many calls and text messages do I send? Great question. So the month of June, Here you go. I sent I'm going to give you my exact numbers. You ready? I sent 10,596 text messages. I spent 115 hours on the dialer. Not me personally. I didn't do any of this stuff. My team did. Postcards, we sent 9,782 postcards. And there you go. There's my numbers. And I believe that June was a little messed up because we actually had a hiccup with exporting our list out of our software, out of Deal Machine. So I think we're just a little bit behind our actual numbers. But yeah, that's how many we sent. So great question. Let me open this back up. Would you usually find code violations driving? I assume you mean that the properties that have already been marked as code violations, am I going to see those properties and add them to my list as well? I assume that's what you mean. And yes, most likely. So I kind of like code violation lists, and I did really well with them originally before I started driving for dollars. And then it got really competitive and everyone started doing it. And I just started not doing as many deals from it. And you know, the reason it's so great, the code violation list, is your city's doing driving for dollars for you, right? They're driving around and writing citations for long grass. They write citations for anything that's against code. So like certain cities here in Utah, you can't park a trailer, any type of trailer on the street, and they write citations for that. And they write citations for garbage in the yard, or they write citations for not removing your snow from your sidewalks, or they write citations for doing construction without pulling permits, right? And so that's the list you're getting. And so we'll catch some of those things, but some of those things we wouldn't necessarily catch. Like sometimes the construction we wouldn't catch some of that stuff. Yeah, the thing is too is, they're not just adding properties that are ugly. And the reason it makes so much sense to add properties that have physical signs of neglect, right? Think about what we're trying to do as wholesalers or real estate investors that are trying to find discounted properties. People that sell their house at a discount, the house is a burden, right? You're helping them unload a burden, because imagine that your parents die and you're emotionally upset about that. And you've got multiple siblings that want to get paid their portion of the house, and you're the executor, and you have to deal with the headache. And there's a mortgage there, and there's not really any money to pay the mortgage. So there's like a time frame, and then you're having to do all this paperwork, right? And go through the probate process. And you don't want to deal with all this, and you're not even getting paid extra for doing all this extra work for your siblings, and your siblings are being a pain in the butt. And one sibling's living in the house, right? Because he was living there when mom died, and he doesn't want to move out, right? He doesn't want to clean up his shit because he's lazy and he's been using drugs and been freeloading off of your mom for the last 10 years, right? Imagine what a nightmare that property is to that person, right? He just wants it gone, right? So those are just one of the many situations that happen. So if someone has a property like that, they're in charge of it, they own it or whatever it might be, and it's a burden to them. Okay, they're not going to go and pull the weeds in the yard. They're not going to go fertilize the grass and make sure it's getting watered. If it has a crack in the window, they may put some duct tape or some clear tape over it. They're not going to replace it, right? If there's some siding blown off, they're not going to worry about it. If there's some shingles missing, they don't care. They don't want to put time, money, and effort into a house if it's a burden to them. So if they get a postcard like, hey, I can buy your house cash as is right now, right? They're going to be like, oh, hallelujah. You're saving me and I don't have to deal with this. Oh, you're saying you're going to evict my freeloading brother that I can't stand, and you're going to pay, X amount that my family will agree to, and I don't have to do any more. You'll even pay for the fees for the attorney and the probate process and deal with all that for me. I don't even have to worry about a thing. Oh, sign me up, right? And so that's what we're trying to do. So if you are spending time finding properties that have physical signs of neglect, you have a lot higher chance of finding someone that's so frustrated with the property, right? But if you're spending money on properties that have really nice yards and the house is well kept and there's no peeling paint, it's just beautiful, right? Those people are emotionally attached to that property. They're probably a lot like you and me with their house, right? They like it. They've worked really hard for it. They appreciate it. And so why would they ever sell it for speed and convenience? They wouldn't. And that's fine, right? We're not trying to convince anybody of anything they don't want to do. We're trying to find those people that want speed and convenience for their house. So driving for dollars is the best filter. So I got the question on this YouTube live, and I've got it many times before, right? What other filters do you do with the driving for dollars list? Do you pull that driving for dollars list and then figure out if they have equity? Do you also check to make sure that they've owned it for more than 2 years or 5 years? Or have you done this and this and this with the list? And it's like, no, no, and no, because if it's physically ugly, if it's the ugly duckling on the street, there's got to be something more to the situation. And when it does go to be sold, I want to be the guy that they call, right? I want to be able to be the one that they reach out to. So that kind of uh, addresses that. Doesn't look like we have any more questions that have come in. This has been super fun. I absolutely appreciate all the questions that I've gotten from you guys. Feel free to share this with your friends, share this with other people that you think might benefit from this content. It would help me as well, right? I'm definitely trying to get my name out there so I can bless more people's lives and help more people and make a bigger impact. It's totally my mission behind this YouTube channel and behind what I'm doing as a real estate mentor and coach. And so if you could hit the like button, the subscribe button, and share this with someone you think might benefit from this content, I would really, really appreciate it. God bless each of you, and good luck in your real estate and entrepreneurial endeavors. And I hope to be able to help you in some small way in this process. And you all have a wonderful night. Enjoy your time with your families, and we'll talk again soon. See if I can end my Zoom.